Dan Diker. He's president of the Jerusalem Centre for Security and Foreign Affairs and joins us. Good afternoon to you, Dan. Dan.
Good afternoon to you, Julia.
Good afternoon. Look, I mean, the world has been, watching, certainly all last week, what was going on in Iran, as much as we could, with videos coming out often, 24, even 48 hours later. And the world was watching, and it's been fascinating, again, how quiet many mainstream media, certainly in Britain, were before they were basically forced to talk about it by social media, particularly by commentary on X, but also just how many of the great and the good who care so much about human rights, the Greta Thunbergs and others, very quiet when it came to Iranian young people being slaughtered on the streets trying to have their human rights. What do you make of the numbers and where we are right now in Iran?
Well, Julia, thank you for raising this critically important issue, the hypocrisy of the international human rights discourse regarding the wholesale slaughter of women, children, men, innocent protesters across Iran. And I am sorry and I regret to inform that the numbers are far higher than those than are being reported.
Yeah.
Even the 16,500 number, we at the Jerusalem Center for Security and Foreign Affairs, we broadcast in Persian to the Iranian people. We have intelligence experts on Iran. The numbers that we are receiving are in excess of 30,000 people slaughtered across 40 districts and over 140 cities across the Islamic Republic.
Well, that 16,000 figure was basically from a number of hospitals confirmed body bags. It didn't cover the entire country, and as we know, these protests have been pretty much across the entire country. So that those figures would make more sense. And of course, we're talking about many tens of thousands more injured, and of course, many also being held in prison right now and realistically facing torture, possibly even, depending on when Donald Trump loses interest, execution.
Yeah, well, many are facing execution right now. And in fact, we must understand and help our viewers underscore and remember the fact that we are dealing with a genocidal, I mean, they are genocidal in their intent, and they are a jihadistic, messianic regime that has made no secret of its goals since they kidnapped 53 Americans in 1979 upon the return of Grand Ayatollah Khomeini's a plane ride from France, from Paris, in which he said the United States is the big Satan, the Great Britain is the middle Satan, and Israel is the small Satan, and it has targeted all three of these countries for extinction. Much easier to target Israel, which is one of the smallest countries in the Middle East, facing one of the largest 8-front assaults on its very existence as the nation state of the Jewish people. But we do know that in the streets of Iran, across the country, are cries by name for President Trump to save the Iranian people. And they are also, Julia, calling for none other than what they call Javad Pahlavi, which is the son of the Shah, the son of the, and this is the great irony in all of this, is that the RP2, Reza Pahlavi Jr.'s dad, the Shah, who was universally disliked and rejected for his very strong and harsh measures by the Savak, the former, security services. That's what brought down that regime. And next thing we know, we have a murderous, extremist, messianic Islamic regime, that has really cost Iran its economy, its youth, its future, everything. It has absolutely become intolerable, and the silence of most of the Western world is deafening.
And again,
except for President Trump.
Well, and President Trump saying he would help and warning, and again, we're told that the executions that had been planned were called off because of these threats. But realistically, what would he do? We've had those, the missile strikes. We know Israel has repeatedly had to defend itself. And it has to be very brief. I'm so sorry. What could America do to help these protests and help these people rid themselves of the mullahs?
Well, what America has already done, which is why there are 2 million people across Iran in the streets continuing to fight despite the mass slaughter. This is what's different than past 2008, 2017, 2022, Masa Amini, the hijab protest. What's different about this protest is that they are drawing tremendous strength from President Trump's attack on Iran's ballistic and nuclear program in June 2025 with Israel. His arrest and his arrest of Maduro of Venezuela, which is Iran's base in Latin America. The fact that Israel has amputated the Iranian regime's tentacles in Lebanon, Hezbollah, in Gaza, Hamas, the Houthis in Yemen, in Iraq, the Iranian special forces.
Yep.
The Iranian regime is frightened to its britches, and they know that President Trump has taken action which no other American president has taken in modern American history. So they draw tremendous.
Oh, well, our line's just going back. I was going to have to draw it to a close. The line just went just the last moment. Dr. Dan Diker, I so appreciate you joining us, President of the Jerusalem Center for Security and Foreign Affairs. Again, just don't want to leave that story behind while it's still happening.